So I'm here today in Steve Jenkins' wood shop. Boy, this is a fine wood shop. You need a tool, he's got it. He's done a lot of commercial stuff in the past, so I'm grateful Steve's going to help me out today with cutting up a couple of pecan slabs. We're going to join them up, plane them up to get them nice and smooth to finish with our pecan workbench project.
Ladies and gentlemen, woodworkers, if there's ever a time to be impressed with a piece of machinery, this is it. A 14-inch Oliver joiner. A big, massive piece of machinery. Can you imagine most people have a 6 or maybe an 8-inch? This is 14 inches. Be impressed because it did a fabulous job. So after Steve jointed one surface, then we edge jointed the other surface. It only took 2 passes on his joiner to get it nice and smooth. That tells you how good a job I did on my bandsaw cutting a straight line. So after joining one surface and one edge, we took it over to the planer and ran into the planer to get the other surface all nice and smooth. The second slab, we were only able to put a straight edge on it with this table saw because it was such variation in thicknesses. If we put it on the thickness planer, we would lose too much thickness for the bench. Here's Steve showing off the work of the
Kitchen cabinets, all custom made out of cherry. Everything book matched.
Next, in his bathroom, he made matching vanities out of zebra wood and walnut. Quite impressive. Now the next step was to trim the end of the legs to prepare for the tenons.
So here's where I am on the leg assembly. So I got my legs cut here, marked 17 inches, and I got a 3-inch tenon, which will be cut down. The boards, one is 2 and one is 2.5 inches, so I have a 1/2 inch to 1 inch leeway coming out the top to level off with. So I have this live edge that's got to grade out. I certainly want to do something different with it. So I've got 3 different methods. I have a wire brush, I have a circular sanding pad, it's really old, and then I got a fiber brush. So we're going to try all 3 of those. If you want to stop the video and go down below and comment and guess which one you think is going to turn out the best, now would be a good time.
So here we go. So we're starting with the fiber brush. We're going to get a little section of that done. Decided to tape it off so I could distinctly tell the difference between the stop and start points. And then I blew it all off to see which one I might like the best.
Okay, there's that finish. There's that finish. And then this is the sanding pad. So I like this one the least because it didn't get down in any of these little holes and areas, depressions to clean it up. I didn't want to sand this flat. So there is a distinct difference between this brush and this, as the wire brush took it deeper, but you can also see the swirl marks of this wire going that way. And so that's probably not what I want, even though that texture is pretty nice. But with this grain on this to me looks the most natural. That means there's less work I'll do. So that's going to be my option. Okay, here's the edge all finished up. So you can see it took away some of the gray, but still left it the nice weathered look. You got some wormholes running through here.
Now cutting the tenons was a massive project. I used my bandsaw, I used my table saw, I used the chisel, anything I could get to do it. So in total, it took me 4 hours per pair of legs to cut the mortise and the tenons. So I'm going to save you the torture from showing you all that.
Alright, finally got our tenons through the mortise. So now we're going to sand the top and the legs. I've already sanded the bottom. Then we'll select the finish for it. Remember, this bench is going to be outside.
Every bench requires a test sit.
I'm ready to glue up my legs, and I have to take these out. So this is how we do it. Titebond 3, which is waterproof and has a little more open time to work with, since I got to pound these legs in. So that's the next step. So let's get started.
So assembly of the leg pairs was next in order. So I painted all the glue on, hammered them in as hard as I could, and then did rinse and repeat to the other end and get the other pair of legs solidly into the bench.
Alright, we had glue on here for 2-3 minutes. It's starting to get just a touch tacky. So I'm kind of making sure we got over with the pointed straw. You gotta get it into the crevice. So I don't see anything that's leaking into where we need to add any glue. So now I'm gonna dust it. So I'm just gonna put a little sawdust around all the sides and then kind of sweep that into the glue so it'll have the same color as the rest of the pecan. So I set my router to bottom at that thickness. So I'm gonna attempt to cut off these tenons that are protruding through the pecan bench and get down to this thickness, and then I'll either pan plane it or sand it from there.
So routing the tenons to get it down flush to the level of the bench turned out a lot easier than I thought. I'll use this again.
So this is the step of the project we all are excited to get to. Finishing. So I'm going to use this Halcyon finish from Total Boat. First time I've used it. Since it's water-based, you can apply it with a foam brush or a bristle brush. Just pour out what you need in a cup, go to town, and you can recoat in 1 hour. So hopefully I can get 3 coats on this today. So let's get started.
Please hang up and try again.
Here I am with the finished pecan bench. Now I'm going to sand it and take off the finish because I don't like it. It's too yellow. It doesn't look natural and it's too glossy. My fault. I picked the wrong finish. So now we're going to do that and we're going to stain it or finish it with something different. Here's our pecan bench with the Halcyon, and we sanded off that. And that's what it looks like. I think this is a lot better. I like this more natural looking. So I'm gonna test piece some Thompson deck seal, Thompson Water Seal. Bench, spalted pecan bench. Boy, that was a project. And I learned a lot, and I hope maybe you learned a little bit as well. So if you picked up a tip or two,
give me a thumbs up. And you want to see more of our projects, consider subscribing down below. And as usual, come back and see me real soon.